All right, so let's do one more where we take a word problem and we convert that into a piecewise equation. Okay, piecewise function. All right, the local gas station has a deal with Coca-Cola where they pay $3 per gallon for syrup for the first 10 gallons, $1.50 per gallon for the next 10 gallons, and only $1 a gallon for anything beyond those 20. Write a piecewise function for the cost of Coke syrup and graph the function. All right, so I'm going to let X equal my number of gallons, and Y is going to be my cost. Okay, so there's my X and my Y. And I draw this picture because as you saw in the previous problem, you need that point and that slope in order to find that equation because it does have to be in a really specific form to fit into this. Okay, and I just find it's just easier to organize that visually in a graph. But if you have another way of doing that and you show your work and you get to all the right places, that's fine as well. All right, so let's take a look at this. So it is $3 per gallon for the first 10. Let's put a 10 on here. And then we know we're going to look at 10 more, so we'll make this a 20. And let's see, well, 3 times 10 is 30. And these ones are cheaper, so maybe if we go like 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. Put some marks on there. All right, so this first one we're doing $3 per gallon. So that is going to look like this. Okay, because there's no initial cost or anything like that, so it starts out at 0 and moves its way up. So I'm going to start my function over here so I can keep track of things. So this, my slope here, is equal to 3. And it goes through that point 0, 0. So I know what my y-intercept here is here, which makes this really easy. My y-intercept is just 0. So this first function is 3x. And that's going to be for x between 0 and 10. And then this next rule goes for the next 10 gallons. So it's going to go from 10 all the way up to 20. Okay. And it's going to cost us $1.50. So I want to figure out if we're at 30 right now. So this point here is 10, 30. But buy 10 more gallons, that puts me at 20 gallons. I want to figure out how much that total cost is going to be. So I have the 30 that I already have, plus 1.5 times the extra 10 gallons. So that tells me $45 is what I'm going to owe if I buy 20 gallons of this. So here's my 45. There's this point right here. The point is 20, 45. We'll connect those two. And this has a slope here of 1.5. All right, here we go. Get this in frame here. All right, so I need to find the equation of that, but I have my slope, and I have actually 2 different points that are on here, so I can use either one. So I have y minus, let's just go ahead and use this endpoint here. So I have y minus 30 is equal to 1.5 times x minus 10. So that gives me y is 1.5x. And then minus 15 plus 30. So y is 1.5x plus 15. So I will fill that in here, 1.5x plus 15. All right, and then anything over and above that is $1 a gallon. So that's a slope of 1, so this will be not quite as steep. And my m is 1. Okay. And so I have my slope and I have a point that's on this line. I get y minus the 45 is equal to 1 times x minus 20. So I have y is equal to x minus 20 plus 45. Gives me y is equal to x plus 25. Okay, so I'll put my x plus 25 here. And that is going to be for anything over 20 gallons. All right, So there is my piecewise function. My domain here, so that I start at 0 gallons, and ultimately I can buy as many as I want. So 0 to infinity. And similarly, my price, so my cost, my range is my cost. So I start at 0, and it just keeps going based on how many gallons I'm going to buy. So my range here is 0 to infinity as well. All right. Okay, so my best advice, if you're trying to do this with a word problem, is to make this sketch and put these slopes on here and identify these points so that you can use that point slope formula to make that work for you. Okay, this is my best advice, but if you have another way that works and you show your work, that's fine also.